Go over to 2 Kings 7. Read this sometime if you're not familiar with it. The Samaritans are at it again. This is several years later. But the Samaritans have besieged Samaria. The Syrians have besieged Samaria. And it's been going on for several weeks, probably several months, because they're about to starve to death in the city. And there are 4 lepers. Now keep this in mind. There are 4 lepers that don't really know what to do. They can't go into the city because they have leprosy and they're quarantined. They can't go in. They can't go to the Samaritans, or the Syrians, they can't go to the Syrians because they will be killed. And so the safest place for them is right outside the city walls. And so that's where they're camping. They're starving to death too. And so you have 4 men with lepers having a philosophical discussion about death. Now here's their discussion. They're basically saying, what are we going to do? And they say, well, if we stay here like we are, we're going to starve to death, we're going to die. Yep. So argument number 1, we're going to die. What's this next thing we can do? Well, we can try to go into the city, but they're starving to death too, and by law we can't go in, so if we go in there, we're going to die also. So argument number 2, we're going to die. Well, what's the third argument? Well, we can go to the Syrians, and if we go there, that's another option, but what's going to happen? Well, they're going to kill us. So here's the deal. Option number 1, we die. Option number 2, we die. Option number 3, we really die. And that's where they are. But this is why I like these guys. It says in the middle of the night, they thought, and this was their thought process. Look, we're going to die. Let's go to the Syrians. Maybe they'll feed us before they kill us. And they thought, that sounds good to me. So they get up in the middle of the night and they start walking toward the camp of the Syrians. And whether they were sandaled or barefooted, God took that muffled sound on that dirt road as they walked toward the camp, and He magnified it, and He magnified it, and He magnified it until it vibrated and reverberated through the hills and through the dales. And the Syrians woke up and said, it's a surprise attack. The Egyptians are upon us. And so they ran all the way back to Syria. People, you don't know what God can do with your little footsteps. You don't know what God can do with your little bit of talent. You don't know what He can do with your little bit of time or your little bit of effort. But you will never know unless you are willing to stand up and start walking toward the things of God.